We'd like to welcome you to the 2019-2020 Club One volleyball season. My name is Bree Isaacson and I am the club director.
And my name is Bridget Hack and I'm the business manager.
And if you're new to the Club One family, about 10 years ago, Bridget and I came up with this online video to help inform our families of what Club One's all about, give some important information in lieu of a parent meeting that was very difficult for parents to get to the following night with all activities that their children are involved in. And the many things that are going on. So we do this video in an effort to help our families answer questions. Certainly we're available to answer more questions if we haven't done something in the video, but this should give you a brief glimpse into kind of what our program is about, how it runs, and Bridget and I just kind of cover two different portions of that. So the first thing I would just like to mention is at the start of the season, all paperwork and USAV memberships must be renewed prior to the start of the season. So we do have a drop off for our paperwork. Bridget will explain that in her portion, but we do have several weeks before the season starts. So sometimes people need to print them or they're out of town or whatever the case is. So just as a friendly reminder, all registrations on USAV sites and AAU sites need to be done, and all paperwork must be submitted prior to the first practice. Our season officially begins November 18th, so that is the first week of practices. So obviously it's over a month from the time we try out till we start, so you'll be getting a ton of emails from Bridget about practice days, practice times, what's still missing, registrations, and you should have enough time to do that, but just so you can kind of put in the back of your mind, those are things that will need to be done prior to the start of the season, which is November 18th. Practices for our 12U and 13U are twice a week, and practices for our 14U is 3 times a week, and it's a weekend day. It is Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, and it's only if you didn't play on the weekend. So if you played Saturday and Sunday or Saturday or Sunday, you do not have that third practice day. We feel like those 2 practices during the week and the tournament are sufficient for that age. But if you were completely off, then that Sunday practice would happen then. We do ask that our athletes arrive 15 minutes before practice starts. That way they have ample time to get ready, go to the bathroom, say hi to everybody that they know, and start practice on time. We do ask that if your daughter is going to be late or absent to a practice, that she reaches out directly to the coach. We do understand in the first couple of weeks that there isn't a coach yet because team selection doesn't happen right away. So feel free to email Bridget or myself, and we will certainly pass it along to the lead of that age division because we do track attendance. And then once a coach is assigned to your daughter's team, your daughter could communicate directly with her. We do have a makeup policy at Club One for our practices. So if your daughter is sick and she has practice on Monday and she misses, and we like them to get the most out of it, they can make up that practice on a different night with a different age group. But our general rule of thumb is you must practice up. So if your daughter is a 14, we feel it is more beneficial for her to practice with the 15s than it is maybe to practice with the 13s. So you could reach out to us or your daughter's coach and we'd be able to tell you the practice times. It's also available on our website for you to kind of make up those practices, just so that they get the most out of it if they weren't there. The proper practice attire is going to be a practice t-shirt that's from Club One. It will be in your uniform package. You will have spandex. You will have socks, knee pads, shoes, shirts tucked in, and hair back. The first couple weeks, if you haven't played at Club One before, any athletic practice t-shirt will do. Then once those practice t-shirts do come in, they are required for the remainder of the practices. As I previously mentioned, team placement does not happen right away. We will get into the gym for a couple of weeks before we assign teams, and we do that for a couple of reasons. Sometimes we have kids that we're maybe looking at in multiple positions and we'd like to see them over an extended period of time. Additionally, because we have more than one team in each age division, we want to ensure that we're putting every athlete on the best team for them, both individually and as a team. So it takes us a couple of weeks to do that. If somebody has a bad practice, it doesn't affect the overall team placement because we've seen them for a while. So it just does take us a couple of weeks, and then we do post those rosters on our website. It is possible for an athlete to be moved from one team to another, but I can tell you that in many years of doing this, we try our best not to do that, which is why we take the amount of time in the beginning, because just with cohesiveness and the way that girls kind of bond, we try to not disrupt that once teams are selected. However, if an athlete's ability to get better, is being hindered by a team placement, we will absolutely make that change to ensure everybody's moving forward. Just as a side note, we don't discuss team placement at Club One. We would be more than happy to discuss with your daughter if she has a question or what she can do, or whether it's about a position or a team placement or anything of that nature. But just know that we don't have conversations with parents about those things. But we would absolutely recommend you having your daughter talk to us, because we'd be more than happy to share that information with her. We do have a master coach philosophy at Club One, and basically what that means is we have one coach who runs the practice for the entire program. That doesn't mean that we have one coach for all the teams. Each team has their own coach, but we run a similar practice plan for everybody that's in the gym in that age division at the same time. And the reason we do that is a couple of things. Number one, as college players, as high school players, we all play different things. And so it is beneficial for your daughter to get to work with Bridget, who played one position, with me, who played another position, and then with different coaches, because our strengths and weaknesses are all different. Second of all, coaches start coaching at different times, and we want to take advantage of the experience of our older coaches and ensure that all of our teams, regardless of the team your daughter is placed on, are advancing the same and getting the same skill set. So we do run a master coach philosophy. I do run the 12s and the 13s. Bridget runs the 13s as well. The 14s, the 15s. Pretty much you're going to just see us wherever you are. But we take a lot of pride in that, because we think it helps all of our athletes. So one thing that we do appreciate at Club One, and that we do understand as moms with 8 kids between the two of us, that sometimes kids decide early what they want to do. And sometimes it takes them a long time to find something, or they have great passion for multiple things. So we support athletes to be involved in other things. And we found a great recipe for that. It doesn't, I guess, just have to be another sport, right? I mean, I guess it could be choir, or it can be different things that they're involved in. And essentially the way that it works is, we want people to make as much effort to be with us as we do to be with the other thing that they're involved in. So we ask for us to be the same priority. And then we ask for a schedule and great communication between your daughter, you, and our coaches, because when we do that, then we can plan practices accordingly. So we support it. Good communication is what makes it really go. In terms of the tournament schedule, we do not begin play until January. So November and December are simply training months. We do not play any tournaments for our girls program at that time. And then in January, we begin tournament play. We play on average 2 times per month. And it's all tournament play. So you're going to go somewhere, you're going to play at minimum 3 matches at that tournament. Sometimes it's a Saturday, Sunday, sometimes it's just a single day event. And in a single day event form, you would play till there's a champion. So if you get out of your pool, typically top 2 teams get out of your pool, you're going to play a quarter, you're going to play a semi, you're going to play a final. The general rule of thumb is that you would arrive 1 hour before you play to a tournament and 45 minutes before you officiate. Your coach will tell you the exact times, but that's just a good thing to know. Please know that in club volleyball, our athletes are part of the officiating crew, and it is the responsibility for every team, regardless of who you play for, to officiate. So it's the expectation that all athletes would stay at the tournament until all playing and officiating duties are complete. We do ask that you respect the food policies of each tournament site you go to. We know nobody who lets you bring in outside food. I have kids, though, that are in other sports, and that policy holds true there as well. They do have a couple concessions for an athlete who maybe has a gluten or an allergy to a food. So if your daughter has a specific food restriction, you can email me and I can reach out directly to the host site and see. Some menus have gotten better where they provide a lot of different foods and they feel that's sufficient. Some will give you a pass, which we can provide. But either way, No food is allowed inside, and if you do, we just kindly ask that you eat that outside the facility to respect the policy. Once the tournament schedule comes out, you will know every tournament you have for the whole season. What you may not know is the exact start time of that tournament. So unfortunately, teams do add and drop over the course of a week, so tournament host sites do hold off on sending out that schedule until a little bit closer, maybe a Wednesday before the event, to ensure they don't have to adjust a schedule. So it's important to know that, yes, you will know you play this Saturday, but it is possible to not know the exact start time until the Wednesday before. Once we get it or your coaches get it, it will be immediately sent out to you guys. Playing time is always an issue that comes up, and it's something that we like to address. We know that playing is an important part of development, just like practice. So we set up our teams with the right number of athletes on each team to ensure that everybody has a role. However, the position they play may dictate the amount of time they're out on the floor, if they only play front row or they only play back row. And we do expect that our athletes will be working hard as we want to teach them, and as they get older, that's how they're going to earn playtime in their high school seasons or their junior high seasons or things like that. We do not guarantee playtime on our strong teams. I can tell you that we've never had a player who hasn't played, but on the strong team, they're set up just slightly differently, and every minute of that is going to be earned. However, we are respectful of the fact that we know that that's part of their development, and that's why we take the amount of time that we do to set up the teams to ensure that everybody's going to get playtime to help continue their development. But we do encourage the athletes to continue to work hard, as we think that's a life lesson as they continue in the sport. If an athlete's unhappy about their playtime, they're unhappy about their position, they're unhappy about whatever it is that they could be unhappy about, we do ask that the athlete discuss directly first with the coach. They have the direct relationship. They're in practice together every day. It's a great thing for an athlete to feel comfortable asking their coach, and we want our coaches to provide an environment where the kid feels comfortable to ask them. So that would be the first place to start. If after a little amount of time, it just doesn't seem like it's really changed, or there's some communication, breakdown, or whatever the case is, we would all be happy to sit down together. Myself, Bridget, the coach, the athlete, you, to be able to just make sure we're all on the same page. Sometimes there's a breakdown in communication from like the player to the coach or the player to the parent. So this kind of helps rectify that. And as many years as we've been doing this, every time we've sat down and we've talked, it's been very beneficial for both parties. So we feel like that really works. We do have a 24-hour rule, and that is that if you are upset as a parent for whatever reason, that you wait 24 hours to reach out to your coach or to myself or to Bridget to discuss. We just know that in that moment when you're really upset, nothing good comes from it, and once it's said, it can't be taken back. So we just ask that you wait, and then we can all kind of sit down and discuss together. We certainly won't discuss lineups or why certain kids play, but we could provide information specifically for your daughter. We ask, just like we ask our coaches to respect you as families, we ask that you guys respect our coaching staff. They dedicate many, many hours outside of their own jobs to do this, and we just want a good working relationship between both parties. We do have some parent expectations. I'm going to briefly read them. It's to be respectful of the club coaches and players, to demonstrate good sportsmanship to C1 players as well as other teams, coaches, and officials, to support the development of each player, essentially just to be respectful to all parties that are involved. And again, we feel so fortunate that we have great families and we get it, but athletics have changed a bit, and when we're in different realms and sometimes you're sitting at a game and you're watching something happen, I think it's a good reminder of, what's important, and one play, one bad official call, one bad play by an athlete isn't going to make or break a game, and we just ask that it's a respectful environment so that our athletes can continue to get better as well. I have a couple more things. In terms of travel, our 12U program does not travel. So yes, we have events. Unfortunately, we don't just stay in Plainfield, but there's a lot of different places we can go locally. I always say it's no further than an hour, wherever you go, but the 12s don't travel. The 13U and 14U teams do one travel trip, and where they go is based on the team that they're selected for. So some of our 14s and some of our 13s go to the Mid-East qualifier. That is in St. Louis, and I wrote the dates down. It's March 13th through 15th. So again, once team placement happens, you'll know exactly which trip you're attending. But you are going to either the Mid-East qualifier, March 13th through 15th in St. Louis, or you're going to the Lakeshore Volley Fest, which is April 25th and 26th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So you're going to one or the other. It'll be on your tournament schedule, and then you will receive travel letters from us once those things are determined. What I can tell you is the MEQ, the Mid-East qualifier, is a USAV sanctioned national qualifier, and it is what they consider state to play. So they give us the hotel, we provide it for you. In order for us to be accepted in the tournament, you have to stay at the tournament or at the hotel that they select for us. Lakeshore Volley Fest is not stay to play. We will get a block of rooms and you can use those. However, if you choose to stay at a different place because you have points or family or whatever, you can. So unfortunately, every tournament's a little bit different and we have to follow the rules of those tournaments. So that information will come out. You don't have to do anything with that yet. That information will come out after team selection so that you get the correct travel letter. In terms of spirit wear, we do a BSN online site where you can go on and you can order your fan gear. We also throw spandex and knee pads on. You didn't order it in your uniform package because you just bought your daughter a pair and then you go in her bag and they're not there anymore. So we'll have some other items on there as well for you to select, but that will come out a little bit after the season kind of gets underway so you can order. So just know that that's coming. We do have a full-time recruiting coordinator. His name is Corey Sackett. He runs our boys program. If you're watching this video and your daughter is 12 through 14, you are probably a little early in this process, but it is good for you to know that we have it. We currently have over 100 athletes playing in college, which is very exciting for us. And once your daughter gets into high school, if they have any interest whatsoever, it's great to sit in on his meeting that he has annually to give you an idea of some points when you need to get things done. And you can always decide not later, but it's always good to have the information so that if you do want to pursue it, you're ahead of some of those deadlines. We do have a website, which I'm sure you've been on if you're watching this video. Please watch it, check it regularly. We do post information on there. But in 2019, we do have social media. We have Facebook and Instagram. We can't go any further than that. We don't know how to
way
tweet.
above our minds.
And I don't know Vine and all these other things.
They don't even have that anymore.
Oh, see, they don't even have it anymore. So it's like, Snapchat, whatever it is, we don't have time for that. So here's what I'm
We still
telling
have home phones that we talk to each other on, our landline. That's the only reason we keep our landline, because we spend the entire day on the phone.
Talking to each other.
On the landline.
I know.
That's where we are.
I know. So what I would suggest is follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. You'll get to see all of our successes, our college commitments, and all the very exciting things that are going on at Club One. They will get posted on our website, but that's a little outdated these days. At least that's what the kids tell us. So check that. I do just want to mention, we know that parking at our Club One location, we do have 2 locations for practices. We have the Club One location that's 14407 Coil Plus Drive. And then we have the Plainfield Community Church, which is on Route 59. Both aren't ideal for parking, but at the Club One location, once you leave our parking area and you move into the second set of buildings, which is the CrossFit and the other things, we're just not allowed to park down there. So they do say they can tow, but if you need to park at our facility, there's parking in the front, there's parking on the side. You can park on Coil Plus Drive, which is the street behind us, and you can also park in the Public Works building, which is across the street. So again, usually people just drop and pick up, but if you needed to, just know that you can park there. The last just couple things I want to throw out, and then Bridget, I'm going to turn over to Bridget, is we do have an annual scrimmage that we do with other clubs in the area. This year, it's going to be with Chicago Elite and then Ultimate Volleyball Club. And essentially, it's just a great opportunity for us to get together to see our teams before they're finalized and make sure we've got people in the right spots. We also do some spirit wear on site, so if you want to get some gear. And this season, it's scheduled for December 21st and 22nd. Listen, we get it. It's days before the holiday. Unfortunately, because we have to have facilities to have it, we can't just pick any weekend that we want. And so this is the one that kind of worked with the other clubs as well as the facility. If you are out of town, there's no harm here. It's a friendly scrimmage. It's an opportunity for us to see our kids. It's an opportunity for you to meet your coach. However, you'll meet your coach in January if you're not there. But just kind of pencil it in if you don't have something going on to just know it's going to be that weekend, and more information to come with that. I have two other things, and, I have a couple more, but I'll keep it very fast. A couple years ago, Bridget and I would do like a clinic before the season started. People were looking to get touches on the ball. We would do that. And last year what we did is we offered a series of group lessons prior to the start of the club season. And we did it youth, and then we did it for high school, and we did it kind of positionally based, but for the youth we kind of kept it open because not as many kids play specific positions. So you can sign up for 1 or you can sign up for 4. That information is coming. It is totally optional, but there is a substantial amount of time from when your middle school season ends, or if you're not playing middle school, till that club season starts and people are kind of looking for something to do. So just know that that's something that's coming. And then the other thing I was going to mention is, and Bridget will get into details about this, but essentially some clubs, when you go and you try out there, they want you to commit on the spot. And one thing that Bridget and I have kind of prided ourselves in is making sure that you have all of the information to make the best decision for your family, because we want this to be a good experience for everybody involved. So what we do is we have a deadline the next day to accept your spot, and we do that because then we have families reaching out. So that is still in place, and she will still talk about that. But one thing that we're going to do that's a little bit different this year is that we will have the tryout, and then for our 12s and 13s, any email commitments that come in by 5 p.m. that day, and then for our 14s, because they have a later tryout that day, they don't get done until 4:30. For them, it's 10 p.m. Any email commitments that come in by that time will be entered in a drawing for a free uniform package and a free Spirit Wear hoodie. So the first place winner gets the free uniform package, and then the second place that we pull from the hat gets a free Club One hoodie, size and design of your choice. So essentially what we're doing is, what happens to us is when it's over, first of all, it's very busy. People have questions. We're trying to get back to families. But second of all, people are reaching out to us like, do you have openings? What can we do? And at that moment, we don't know. We don't know if we have any openings, because if the people who have tried out commit to us, we don't. And we're always going to stay committed to those families first. But if it helps us to know, if you know you're playing, it helps us to know, because we can immediately let a family know that we don't have anything and they can move on to look to somewhere else. So just as a heads up, that's a new process for us here at Club One. You get your registration in 12s and 13s by 5, your email confirmation, 14s by 10. First thing in the morning, we're going to throw all those names in a hat. We might even do a live video, because I'm sure you guys love these as much as we do. And we'll just
we're going to
pull
have to do it on like Instagram.
Yeah, we're
like live feeds. We don't
right. And we're going to pull it, and then you're going to be the winner of that. So then we'll discuss how you order your uniform package, because essentially we're paying for it. So just a little something to kind of get those in. And we do ask if you know, just to get it in. And the last thing that I have is, we're super excited. You may have seen the Y Club ones that we kind of posted out on Instagram and Facebook, but we had 27 All-Americans last year, 63 total. We have over 100 athletes playing in college. We had 86 boys and girls named to the JVA watch list last year. And we have 3 college coaches on our staff and 12 high school and middle school coaches. So we are excited. We love what we do. And I am now passing it over to Bridget so she can share her information with you.
Okay, so mine is not as long. Mine is a little bit more compact and a little bit quicker. But we like to end with how this whole process is going to work. And of course, people want to know especially about the money. And that's one of the things that I do for Club One. So I know that our flyer's been out there and we have the pricing on our flyer, but we're going to get a little more specific with it now that we have the uniform and travel fees. So for our 12U program, as Bree mentioned, they do not travel. The price for that is $1,350. Our 13U is $1,900, which includes the travel trip. So on the flyer it said $1,600. This includes that one travel trip. So a total of $1,900, and our 14U is $2,050. Again, it was $1,750 plus the travel trip. Regional is $1,000. We offer payment plans. So the way that our payment plans work is when you register your child, you'll go through the Sport Engine, which most of you have done, all of you have done because you registered for the tryout, and it's a different link. You have the option of breaking that into anything from 1 to 5 payments. So you can do 2 payments, you can do all the way up to 5. The first payment would be due upon registration. So if you're going to choose pay in full, you're going to pay in full. If you choose the 5, and I'm just going to go with the 5 because it's the easiest because it gives you the most, you would pay a fifth of it on that day, and then the rest of it is broken into November, December, January, and February 1st. So once you put your registration in, you pay a fifth, and then those other payments would automatically be taken out on those dates. With payments 2 through 5, there is a $20 installment fee for each of those. The first payment or the registration does not have the installment fee, but those 4 additional payments, each one would have a $20 installment fee added to it, just so you are aware. If you were to pay in half, the system kind of just generates it. You might pay half up front. It will show you before you make any decisions on how you want to do your payments. So you would log in. That's when you would choose how you wanted to do your payments.
And I do know you can change. Like, so if,
Yes.
if you set up 5 and you decide that you want to pay it off in 2, you would just reach out to Bridget and we could adjust
and
that.
then or if, let's just say you do 2 and then you realize that you need to add some more, we would just cancel the plan that you have. I would set up a different plan. You'd be invoiced a little bit differently, but we always have the ability to change. Now, one thing I don't have the ability to do is to take away those fees. So you have to let me know before, paying, and then we can make sure, because if you pay it off 2 months early, you don't incur those 2 $20 installments. So if there's any changes, reach out to me so that we can make the changes in the system. So that is for your registration. Now, registrations are very, very important, and when I get to the step-by-step, it's one of the top things because that's where all the communications come through. So you must be registered in the system, to get in the system, but also that's where all of our emails are going out. Once you get placed on a team, this is how the coaches get your information so that I give to them. So we don't want you to miss anything. That's why it's important for you to get in right away. Moving to uniform, because that's the only cost that's not included in your fees. We're excited this year. For those of you that aren't aware, we're sponsored by Nike. So we are head to toe Nike. They do a fabulous job putting together packages for us. And we are in a year where a lot of things have kind of cycled out, and we're to a point, we've been fortunate for the past 3, 4, 5 to be able to use, other than jerseys, the same stuff. So they no longer have the styles and things that we have, but they've put together an awesome package for us. So I'm going to explain how that works. We have a mandatory portion of the package that everybody is required to get. And in that package, you're going to receive your 2 jerseys, spandex, backpack, pants, and hoodies. So in the past, we've had the zip ups with the more of athletic type thing. They're going to more hip, whatever the word is nowadays.
No, we are. That was our choice.
We're hip. So, right? I mean, we don't do social media, but we know clothes. We know clothes. So we are doing better things.
Yes.
And so instead of the zip up, we're doing a cute hoodie and pants. The girls are going to love it.
Yes.
We're ordering it too. So they get
now they don't love.
Don't tell them we're ordering it, but they're going to like it. And this year, new, if you've been with Club One before, your practice t-shirts, you get 3 practice t-shirts, are included in the package.
Yeah.
Mandatory for everybody are those things that I mentioned. The cost of that portion of it is $245 for all of that stuff. You will have tax added to that, and you will have shipping because packages get shipped directly to your home.
Yes.
So that is what everybody is required to get. Mm-hmm. If you are new to Club One, in addition to that, you will be required to get the shoes, the knee pads, and the socks. And that portion of it totals So when you add that in, the total package for new players is $346.50 plus the tax and the shipping. If you're a returner and you don't need the shoes or socks and knee pads because you already have it, you're not required to get it. If you just need the shoes, you could do it a la carte, or if you just need knee pads or you just need socks. So that for returners is an option because it is the same style shoe. So we do try when we can to let our families reuse things that they have, but the actual overall gear is different. We've had people with the boys ask about the backpacks. Yes, you need the backpack. It's an updated style. It's a new style. Our old style is probably about 7 or so years old. So we'd like everybody to look the same, especially because we have new gear. And it's part of it. So we just ask that that be purchased as well. So that is in addition. That will be ordered directly through Nike. We do not take any of the money. We don't have any of that. We will be having a try-on date, which I'll explain, and we will be providing the link in the flyer. The turnaround time for our uniforms is fairly quick. So usually within a week, maybe a couple of days but about a week, you need to get your order in. We have to make sure jerseys are back in time for, tournament play, and there's quite a few of them. So be on the lookout for that. Once we send it, you'll have all the information. You go through, you pay them directly, they send it to you directly, and you can take care of that through them. So right now, there's nothing you need to do yet. You'll find that out from us very, very shortly. So once we've talked money, a lot of people, the next question I have is do you have anything that you have to offset costs? And we do. We have been running this fundraiser for years, and it's very, very successful, and it's very, very helpful to people who use it to offset their costs. And the way the fundraiser works is each family is required to sell 10 tickets. Each ticket is $10, so a total of $100. The people you sell the tickets to get put into a drawing, a raffle. The raffle grand prize is $10,000. It's not a hard sell. $10 to win $10,000. I wish I could be a part of it. I can't. We can't do it because we're part of Club One, but it's $10,000. There's a $2,500 second place, $1,000 first place. The great thing about the raffle, third. Did I say first?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
The best thing about the raffle is after you sell your 10 mandatory tickets, anything that you sell 100% goes back to you. So I can tell you this, I have families that last year I had a family sell $1,800 worth of tickets. And so they had a $1,700 credit at the end of the raffle. And the way it works, the raffle is pulled usually the weekend of the scrimmage. Once the raffle is closed and completed, then we have to file the paperwork with the IRS, all that fun stuff, and then disbursement checks come from me. So if you've sold 50 tickets, you would receive a $400 check from us for the extra tickets that you sold. So this is a way, have your kids help, make them work a little bit for the club season. And a lot of parents will come in and say to me, hand those tickets to them because they're going to sell them. But that is a great way to offset your costs. As Bree mentioned, we have 8 kids between us. We've done our fair share of fundraisers. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we just don't feel like we want to do it. So we do offer an opt-out. You can opt out of the raffle. It's $75 to opt out. You pay it at the registration time, so you just pay it there. I get notification that you've opted out, so you would not receive tickets and you do not have to sell. So that is always an option to our families as well, just because we know that sometimes, you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to ask your grandma for the 20th time this month. So that's kind of my portion. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is what to expect. And after the tryout, you're watching this video because the tryout has already happened, but we have posted numbers on our website, which means that you've seen your daughter's number. This is the first step of the step-by-step registration. The second step is the email that Bree was talking about. So as she mentioned, getting it in soon or by those deadlines so you get entered to win the free uniform package. Those emails are very important because I'm going through, we're seeing, who's part of the program, and then we're also knowing if there's anybody that we need to reach out to. The deadline to commit is noon on Monday. So this Sunday the 6th, so Monday at noon on the 7th. If at that time we don't hear from you, we will assume that your daughter is not committing to the program, and that's when we'll be reaching out to those people that have maybe contacted us about a spot. Please, even if you're a returner, do not assume that we just know. We do ask for that.
And the email is so helpful. I know it's probably everybody's busy. They leave the tryout. They've got a soccer game then, and they've got all these things. But it's so helpful for us. It's just as simple. My daughter's accepting her spot. And then it just helps us move past, and it helps us do stuff on our end. And then it just, because we have had in the past where a family just forgot, and then it's just, we've extended the offer, and then you can't end up with too many kids on a team. So even if you, for whatever reason, you find out like we just can't make this commitment, even that helps us. So if you can just communicate with us, and I mean, if you know your plan, get it in by those deadlines, because then you have a chance to win a free uniform package. So, and
I will respond to every single person that comes into me, because I have had people say, hey, I didn't get or do you know if you got my response? And if you don't hear from me, please reach out again. Sometimes it doesn't come through, and we don't want any miscommunication. So you will get an email. Now, give me a little time. There's lots coming in, but I will absolutely respond to every single person. Like, thank you so much. Got your commitment. We'll see you Monday. So that's the final step. So following those steps, it's very self-explanatory. There are a couple forms that need to be filled out, a USAV medical form. We need hard copies of that. JBA forms, we need copies of that. All of that stuff will be listed. So you'll want to print those and drop those off. So the final step, if you will, is our drop-off, which will be on Monday, the 7th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the church, like Bree mentioned, and I'll have the address on there as well. And it's any time in between that. You don't have to come for the entire time. But when you come, bring your daughters if they're available. We'll have uniform samples, so they'll be able to try everything on. And it will also give you an opportunity to drop off those papers that we need, so that I can start going through everything and then filling in what might be missing and being able to reach out to people directly. So you come in on that Monday, you drop off your paperwork, you'll get your raffle tickets, you'll try on any uniforms. If your daughter can't make it, we will have a makeup time, like we'll have an additional day that you can come in and try on samples. So still, please come and drop off the paperwork if you could be there, even if she can't. If for whatever reason the day doesn't work for you, as long as you communicate with me, you can scan and email the information. But we really work to try to get everything in ASAP. So if there's anything that we need to, get, we don't miss, or we can communicate with you in a ton of time to be able to have it all taken care of. So that about wraps it up. We're really excited.
Yeah.
We're excited to start. It's crazy that it's another year. We're in year 11, and we're so excited. And we're looking forward to just getting in there and getting back, because that's what we like to do the most.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. But we try to do the best of getting it as self-explanatory, so hopefully we did. But we always appreciate feedback.
Yeah, please.
Positive feedback. But
feedback in a very nice tone.
Yes, exactly.
With maybe a smiley face.
Yeah. It's the beginning of the season, and we like to be so happy. We're happy all the time. So please feel free to reach out to either one of us. We are happy to answer any questions, and we look forward to working with all of your daughters.
Welcome to the Club One family.